Hello and welcome to video number 3, and we're going to talk about the longevity test. So here's a quick and easy short test that you can utilize to figure out if you're really passionate about the niche in the long term. Because you might be okay right now, but we really want to know if it's going to last for a decade or more. So in the previous video, you created many different topics and then you chose one. Now, the fact that you're passionate about this topic means that you're more likely to succeed in the long term, but we want to make sure that is the case. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get a timer, whether it's your phone, whether it's your watch. From this topic, what I want you to do is try to jot down at least 10 to 15 different but very specific topics around this one topic. So in other words, let's do half an hour. And let's see how fast you can create specific topics around this niche. So say, for example, let's take the example of kidney stones. We can think about with kidney stones, there can be dieting. For example, certain foods create kidney stones, and certain things, certain supplements can actually help pass the stone without surgery. Now, can you create 10 or more topics? So I created 2 out of those. Or let's say, for example, lowering cholesterol. We have dieting, we have exercise, we have cardiovascular exercise, we have aerobic exercise, we have other different options as well. So what we're trying to do is figure out how many topics you can create. So go ahead, do that now, pause the video. If you got 10, great. If you got 15, super. If you got 20, awesome. But if you got at least 10 within less than half an hour, then that's a good sign. That means that in your brain, you're able to produce topics right away and that you're actually passionate about this niche. Now, are you stuck? Let's say you tried it and you weren't able to think of anything. If you're stuck, then that kind of means that you need to move on to the next one. So look back on the list of pains and hobbies, pick another one and go through the cycle again until you find one that works. Now, here's the final test. Let's say you found something that you were able to write 10 for. Is this something that you would feel comfortable writing day in and day out? Is this something that you're willing to get educated about and increase your knowledge about, read books about from other experts, talk to other people about, surround yourself with people who enjoy this topic, and would you be happy with all of that? If you said yes to all of these questions, then this might be a good topic of choice. So that brings us to the authority test next. Hello and welcome back to video number 4. This is the authority test. When it comes to being authority, you always want to be one step or one level ahead of your audience. What do I mean by that? I mean, if your audience are newbies, you want to make sure that you are at least in the intermediate level. Or if your audience are intermediates, then you need to make sure that you are an expert in that niche. And the reason being is because you need to be several steps ahead to ensure that you answer their questions. In other words, you need to make sure that you can gain their trust by providing value, and that way they understand that you have been through what they are going through right now. Because if you're going through what they're going through right now, they might see you as the same level as them. They don't really see you as the authority. They see you as maybe somebody who's a friend or somebody who understands what they're going through, but not yet has encountered the future. See what I mean by that? You have encountered the future, and therefore you can give them advice and tips to help them. So people want to know essentially if you are ahead of them, because basically the reality is if you do not know what you're talking about, people can see right through you. They won't trust you, and in the end, they will not buy from you. Because at the end of the day, people buy from people that they like and trust. So trust is a bigger major factor here. So that's really what this whole formula is all about, is how can we get people to trust you? And ethically and rightfully so, if you know the niche, you know the advice and the tips, and you've lived it, then you're more likely to be able to connect. And by connecting, you understand their struggles. You see where if you find something that's just profitable and you're relying purely on somebody to write the content for you, so you're missing that emotional connection. So at the end of the day, if you think about it, people buy for emotion. They don't buy for logic. They justify their purchases with logic. All right. So with that said, if you're one step ahead of everybody else, great. If you're not, it might be something to think about. With that said, let's move on to video number 5.